It's time for health tips. Now here's your host, Dr. Alma Jenkins.
Good evening. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Dr. Alma Jenkins, and this is Health Tips. We're so glad you tuned in tonight. Hope you told somebody else about the show so that someone else is watching as a result of what you've told them. Thank you so much for your kind comments when I'm in the stores. I'll run out to a grocery store or pharmacy or something, and I'll run into some of you who are watching, and your comments are very helpful to us and very encouraging to us. So thank you so much. And we also want to invite you to tune into the website. It's dralmajenkins.com. There is a link on that. We thought that would be the simplest website address, dralmajenkins.com. When you tune into that, there'll be a link that will take you to YouTube that you can go to and see the shows. We're uploading them as we're doing them so that you can watch. If you happen to miss the show or you want to tell somebody about the show, they can tune in. So we're really pleased about that, and I want to thank our producer for making that possible. That's Mr. Spencer Jenkins. We're really proud of him as well. So I want to just invite you to invite someone else to watch the show with you, because it's always fun when you're watching something with someone. Oh, it's Thanksgiving. Isn't that a wonderful time of year? I think I saw something on TV to the effect that this is the most traveled season of the year. And last time we showed our Thanksgiving show, and this is not much different, except I'm going a little bit more into what I did with the turkey before I put it into the oven. And I know that some of that is on the previous show, but I wanted to kind of emphasize a few things, some of the technical aspects of it. And I just love doing turkey anyway. So let's just talk about what we did. But first, let me remind you that we're willing to come to your church, your organization, your group. Just tell us when you'd like us to come. Drop us a line at WHFL, and we'd be happy to put you in our schedule. We love doing that because that is a way of spreading healthful information, and the more you know, the better you can help your provider take care of you, and the more involved you can be in your care. It's really important to be involved in your care. When you go to the doctor, you should have questions that you want to ask the doctor. Take a little notebook that you can write down what the doctor is saying. Some of the newer software allows us to give you that at the end of your visit, through the computer. But when you go to your doctor, be prepared to ask whatever questions, because sometimes you get there and you can't think of what it was that you were wondering about. So jot it down before you go, okay? And then if you don't understand what the doctor has said to you, hey, say stop. Stop and say, hey, wait a minute, doctor, I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Could you explain that to me again? All right? So that you have an idea and you understand what the doctor is telling you before you leave, So I hope that's helpful to you. Okay, let's talk about this turkey. The first thing I do is I get a trash bag. I like these. Now, I'm not advertising for this company, but I do use these Glad bags. They have an odor shield and all that, but that doesn't matter right now. And how tall it is. It's listed as a tall kitchen bag, okay? And so you can use any kind of garbage bag you like, but it needs to be big. And I just, it opens up really wide. And I put two of these together, two plastic bags together. So then I put those bags in the sink. You can use the sink. Now let me tell you what I did. I went to the grocery store and I got a fresh turkey this time. But usually I get a frozen turkey, and you have to thaw the turkey. Okay? So you'll have to thaw the turkey, of course, if it's not already thawed. You know that. But you can get fresh turkeys that are already thawed out. They're still going to be, really cold and partly frozen. So what I do is I take this turkey, I try and, I cut the little string that they have tying the legs together, and I put that turkey in this bag, okay? And then I take my salt. Now, it's usually a container. Just take a look at that turkey there for a second. I'm going to show you the salt that we use. Okay, so a container like this, I'm going to use most of that salt. I'm going to use maybe 3/4 at least of the salt that's in here. 3/4 of it at least. And actually, maybe I'll leave that much salt in there, okay? I'll use all that, almost all of it, but not all of it. Okay, maybe we'll leave about that much salt in the bottom. But I will shake all this salt in here. You can use more than that, almost this whole thing. And I shake the salt in here, until I've shaken most of the salt out of here. I cut up lemons. It's going to take about 6 or 7 lemons that you cut up. Now, after I cut the lemon up, I squeeze the juice out of the lemon, and then I put the whole lemon in here. So I've got about 7 lemons, 6 or 7 lemons cut in half in here. Then I go out to my yard and I pick my rosemary. Now, I try and wring it and just, I wring it, cut it up, and just sprinkle the rosemary all in there. And it takes, maybe about 2 of these, this much, about 2 of those, okay? And that's 3 stems, and I'll take about 6 stems of rosemary, and the stems all together are about like that. Maybe about 5 or 6 stems like that. Cut it, twist it, and sprinkle it around in there. Okay, so you've got salt, you've got lemons, and you've got this turkey. Okay, and you can put it in there late at night and close this up, close it up. I try to squeeze all the air out of it. Oh, by the way, turn the turkey on its front so that the breast is face down, okay? So it's absorbing all of that, the saltiness and everything, and the back, because sometimes it floats up to the top and it doesn't stay submerged, so that's submerged. The bottom is going to get it anyway because it's going to be on its back, and so all of that good juiciness will drain on down. Well, then I tie it off, okay? You can either tie it off or put a string around it, and then put ice all around it to keep it cold, okay? Because you've taken it, let's say you bought the turkey frozen and you've thawed it out overnight. So now, a second night, you're putting the unthawed turkey into this bag with everything I've said and ice around it. If it's a fresh turkey, then that's 1 extra night you don't have to worry about. Okay, so after it's been sitting in that for at least 8 hours, probably be more than that because you'll probably put it in there before you go to bed, and I guess you go to bed. What time do you all go to bed anyway? Are you staying up all night? Let me just say this. Are you getting enough sleep? Most of us are not. We're staying up late, and if we have these high-powered jobs, we're getting up early. You need your rest. Try to get at least 8 hours. I know a lot of you say, well, I don't need 8 hours. You probably do. As you get older, you need it more and more. Really young kids need it, and older people need it. Now that in-between time, 20s, 30s, it's better if you can get it too. But if you don't get it, you're not as bad off. I shouldn't say as bad off. I will say you may not miss it quite as much as the very young and then the older crowd. But if you get in the habit of getting 8 hours, it's not such a big adjustment when you get older. So try to foster the habit of getting at least that amount of sleep. It does wonders for your body and will help you age better too, all of you young people. Okay, we're all young at heart, aren't we? Okay, so can you see this turkey here? Okay, so I've turned it over now. Oh, and I did put the neck in there and everything. You know what? I have to tell you something. I bought this turkey. I think it had like 2 necks in it. So somewhere there's a turkey with no neck in the pack. I don't know how that happened. So then I'll take this turkey and I'll lift it out of the, now there's still a little bit of this that came with it that I'm gonna try to pull out. These can be hard to deal with too. These things they put in the turkey, I'm gonna have to try to cut it because it was cold, very cold when I first put it in, and I'm gonna cut that. Let's see, can I cut that? Yeah. And the other piece, I'm gonna cut that too. Okay. So if you're unfortunate enough to have this and it's not cut, you're going to try to cut that out. And I'm going to try to do that. Okay. All right, so I think we've taken care of that. Sorry about that. So we're going to lift the turkey up now. All right. It's about a 14-pound, 12 to 14-pound turkey. I want to get all the water out of it. Okay. Make it sure that you can see this turkey. Okay. And I'm going to take some paper towel and kind of pat it down because I'm getting ready to put some buttery spread on it. And let me get back. You're handling meat, you got to be really careful. Okay. So I'll take some buttery spread and I'm going to just slather some of this on the turkey all around. You know, on the just slather some on there. I mean, it's got its own fat really, but I like that. I like putting that on there. To me, I think it gives it a nice taste. And I'm gonna get some of that extra off my hands. Wipe my hands. I've got some stuff on the towel that I'm wiping with that's helping keep my hands kind of clean. And I put some pepper on it. I do that. And I just kind of slather some ground pepper on my turkey. And you know, when you have the turkey like this, it's not going to fall evenly over the turkey, but that's okay. Looks pretty. Now, notice that you didn't hear me say a lot about salt, but if it stays in the water all night, it's already salty. You really don't have to put any salt on it. So you can do it without any salt on it if it stays in there all night, okay? So this one, however, was not quite in there all night. So I'm gonna put just a little bit of salt on it. A little bit, not much. Not much at all. Just a little. Okay, and you say, well, what difference does that make? Probably none. So now we're gonna put this, pop this in the oven. All right, so you're gonna say, well, where's the aluminum foil? Notice I don't have any aluminum foil on it. And there's a little bit of rosemary on the inside of it that just came out with it. That's okay. This turkey comes with a little temperature, I guess you could say a pop-up indicator. When it pops up, the turkey generally is kind of done from the inside too. So anyway, so we're gonna take a minute and we're gonna pop this into the oven. All right, I've already got it set on 350. And what you want to do is put it in the oven and let it stay on about 350 for about an hour, and then turn it down to 250. Because if you cook it slowly, interestingly enough, it won't get as dried out, you know. And I had the oven on for a while, so it's good and hot. So I've got it on 350, and then after an hour you can turn it down to about 250. Now if you happen to forget that and just keep it on 350, it's okay. It'll just get done quicker. Might not be quite as moist, but it's gonna be moist anyway because you brined it. So it's gonna be moist. But when you cook it slowly and you cut it, the juice just flows out of it, okay? So it's really nice. So I'm gonna have to turn my back to you for a minute because I'm getting ready to pop this into the oven, okay? Here we go. And I have the kind of dish, I have the kind of pan that can, the drippings, it has a perforated base and the drippings go down into the pan. So the turkey isn't just like sitting in the grease and the drippings that are gonna come, okay? Now, let me tell you something about the gravy. So, let's look at the turkey gravy. Now, while we're not gonna make the turkey gravy right now, and a lot of you already know how to make gravy, you have your own way how you do it, but let me add a few things that you might wanna consider when you do your gravy, okay? You might wanna add a little apple cider. I use that on this gravy that I have. Apple cider and or Marsala cooking wine. Really gives it a kick. It's really nice. I would maybe do, if you're gonna do them both, then do a little bit of both, okay? Which is really nice. So most of you already know how you do your gravy, but let me tell you what you will need to do a really nice gravy is you may want to get a, you know, one of the cooking instruments like a sieve that you can pour the drippings in, and it'll catch some of the, you know, debris or little fried pieces that are going to be coming in there. And also you may want to skim off some of the fat and use more of the brown gravy type looking material that's in the bottom of it. But anyway, once you get your gravy to the place where you're going to pour your stock in the pan, you might want to add a little of the apple cider and a little bit of Marsala cooking wine and see how you like the taste of it. Also, what I did this year is I sauteed some onions in the gravy. I sauteed onions first before I made the roux. You know what roux is? Roux is when you put the flour in there with whatever part of the drippings that you placed in the pan, and it gets brown, and you know, I probably should have made it for you tonight, but we're out of time. But you once you make that floury gravy, then you're ready to pour your stock in there. You can use chicken stock or turkey stock, and it makes a nice gravy. The only thing different that I'm telling you you can try with your gravy this year is a little bit of apple cider and a little bit of Marsala cooking wine to pour in there when it's, you know, boiling, making the gravy. That makes it taste really nice. I think you'll like that. And then, you know, of course you want to make gravy with no lumps in it, right? You want to have a nice smooth gravy. But doing that, I came up with this gravy here. Now it's already cooled off a little bit, but it's a nice gravy. Let me just show you. It's a really nice gravy. I'll pull back because it got cool on the top. Okay, it's a nice consistency gravy. Okay, and it tastes wonderful. No lumps in it at all. Very nice gravy. All right, so while our turkey is cooking a little bit, we're gonna do a little exercise, and then I'm gonna show you what the finished product looks like. You're gonna love it. 1, 2, 3, and 1. And 2, whoops, 3, and 4, 5. By the way, don't hit your hand on the overhead vent like I just did. 8 and 9, 10, 11, let's do 15, 12 and 13 and 14 and 15, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, let's go up with it, and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's take a deep breath. And let it out. 2. Let it out. 3. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Let it out. Now, you know, telling you about making gravy and showing you how are different things. So at some point in some other show, let's make a gravy and let you see, okay? So you can kind of get a better feel for it. Many of you are already gravy pros and could probably tell me how to make a good gravy. But anyway, I thought I would just mention to you that adding a little apple cider and a little Marsala cooking wine kind of picks it up, makes it nice. But if you do that, then don't put much in the way of salt in there, okay? And let me just warn you that if you use the drippings from a brined turkey, you may have a little bit of a salty gravy. So if you want to avoid that, instead of using those drippings, if you brined it, you might want to just take the turkey neck and saute the turkey neck and then use what you have after that. Because if you use what is, you know, if that turkey we're going to take out of the stove, the drippings that are in there are salty because that turkey was brined, you know, for a prolonged period of time. So that's going to make, you have to keep that into consideration. And if you're going to use that, then don't add any salt when you make your gravy. I promise you it will be salty enough if you use that. Those of you who are hypertensive, you may not want to use that. You may want to go ahead and saute those turkey necks and, you know, get some turkey flavor in there, and then use chicken stock or turkey stock and use that to make your gravy, okay? And you can buy the chicken stock and turkey stock. I like Swanson. You don't have to worry about trying to make it yourself. You can just buy it and then use that, okay? So let me show you what the finished product looks like. Let's make some room here. And remember, all I did was just set it in the oven. I didn't put any foil on it or anything. Did not, okay? So let's see. Aha, look at that. Is that lovely? That is a lovely turkey. Look how nice and brown it got. And I think putting some of the buttery spread over it kind of helps bring out that brownness and helps, you know, with the way the skin is looking and everything. And I'm gonna tell you something. I put this in the oven about 6:15, and by 8:30 or so, I don't know, maybe 8:45, 8-ish, that turkey was looking about like this. But I would advise you to cook it for an hour that way and then turn it down. It'll get nice and brown. This is lovely. Look at that. Look at that. And you want a turkey that is, you know, well done. Look at that. That moves nicely. It's cooled off a little bit now, but you know, it moves nicely. This is nice and tender. The drumstick. Look at that. There. So it's not at all tough. And I think you'll love this. Those of you who love the wing, you can just imagine. It's nice and crispy. So this turned out, I mean, this looks lovely. You have to admit, it looks lovely. I didn't have to cover it up with foil and all of that. Okay, so we've got our Thanksgiving turkey. We've got our gravy. And like I said, I sauteed the necks a little bit. And we have 2 more minutes, so we want to go out with exercise. I know you can do these last 2 minutes. and the kitchen just smells so good. You know, it just, it smells wonderful, okay? So, I mean, this makes everybody want to come in the kitchen and talk to you because they love smelling that. You can imagine how good it tastes. All right, 1, 2, ready, and 1. And 2. You know, I really wanted to have some cranberry sauce or some stuffing or something for you, you know, to see about the turkey. But we don't really have time to do that tonight. I wanted to kind of just stress the fact to you that brining it overnight kind of gives it an extra flavor. And I'm not gonna cut that. I usually cut into it and taste it for you. Actually, I did taste a little bit of it. It's really good. But we're donating that turkey, you know, to a needy family. So I don't want them to get it and it's all, you know, cut up and looks eaten. So we're gonna leave it like that. I've tasted enough of it to know that it is delicious, and I think they're gonna love it. So I want to hear what you think about brining, and you know, I thought I had made that up with the lemons and the rosemary, and I was looking through a magazine the other day, and they had that very recipe using lemons and rosemary. So somebody else loves it too. But I'm going to tell you, when you cut into it, you can tell that that turkey is seasoned through and through. And there is just something about that that's different than just buying it and cooking it, you know, because the top tastes seasoned, but as you eat through it, you can kind of taste the fresh turkey and it's not that seasoned. But when you do this, it's seasoned all the way through. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been such a pleasure to go over cooking a turkey with you tonight. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for watching. Good night. First thing I do is I go to the store and I get some plastic bags. And let's see, my plastic bags are right here. Let's start over, Spencer. I don't know. Oh my goodness. I know you're still filming. Let's start over. I messed up. What did I do with it?
I just did. You go back in the front.
Here it is, right here. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry as I can be.